Welcome everybody to a new Meet the Fritztrainer. This time I have with me Dutch Grandmaster Sipke Ernst. Welcome to the show, Sipke.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, I'm very glad I'm having you here because, of course, you have made Fritztrainer not that long ago about the Open Spanish. We will talk about this
Yeah.
soon enough, but just for the introduction, for the people who do not know you, my first question for almost every player is, when and how did you learn to play chess?
I learned at, is it called grammar school? Probably, yeah.
Hmm.
When I was at the age of 8, yeah, I was immediately fascinated by the game. So I joined a chess club right after and have played ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this passion of playing chess, would you consider 8 is rather an old age meanwhile, or is it the normal age to learn chess?
Maybe this has changed a bit, and with all this information available and this new technologies and stuff, I believe that 8 is now quite an old age.
Mm,
I think
crazy.
even very young children from the age of 6 upwards can now very quickly learn chess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, Now, okay, so you were 8 years. So which year was this? This was 1987,
87, yeah.
87. So, okay, 20 years later, we're speaking of the year 2007, something significant happened in your life. You know what I'm talking about. How was the feeling when you became a grandmaster?
Well, relief most of all because I think I had a level already for quite a while.
Hmm.
I made my first GM norm in 2002, and I already had a rating of over 2500. But still, it took me such a long while to finally get this title, and I missed many norms, and yeah, that's probably something that actually many players have experienced to finally get this last norm or to finally get this rating can be such big burden. And
Hmm.
when I finally managed to get this norm, then also my rating went up very quickly after that.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, that probably having this feeling of relief might might enlighten you with your playing too. You can go like, okay, I can chill now because I have the grandmaster
Yes,
title.
yes,
And it didn't
yes,
stop
exactly.
there, obviously, because you could not only reach the rating of over 2500, you even went over 2600. Now, was this one of your last goals you had in life about chess, to reach like a certain huge,
Mm,
let's say, obstacle which you could, yeah, climb or succeed with?
well, this became a goal automatically when I came to like 2560, 2570. And it's always important, of course, to set goals. And then I realized that actually this was a realistic goal, and it still took me quite a while, but yeah, I was very happy to reach 2600. And I remember that at that point my next goal was to reach 2625. So it's then your goals,
Slow
yeah,
steps.
very small steps. And yeah, I never reached that, but
Mm.
still, yeah, I'm pretty fine with what I managed to get.
I just wanted to say, I mean, reaching 2600 is probably like, it's still a dream. I had this dream of reaching 2000, which I did once in my life, and I thought like, okay, that's it. That I'm fine with that. I have solved this little ladder for me, so I can just imagine how it feels to reach 2600. Now, that was in 2012, the last time you had 2600. You had it also before a bit. Now we have 2022. So how did you keep on connecting with chess in the last 10 years? Did you mostly play, or did you coach, or tell us a bit about?
Yeah, I started to do a lot more coaching after 2011. In fact, one of my first students was Jordan van Verreest, and after that, I had many other students from all over the world. So mostly it's coaching nowadays,
Hmm.
and at this moment, I'm actually also seconding for Jordan van Verreest since the later half of 2021. And yeah, I've been playing a bit less, but I still think that I am playing a reasonable amount of games since 2012.
Exactly. Yes, because I've been checking the Megadatabase, of course, and to see how often you played, what openings you played. Now, my research took me to the following conclusion. As white, one of your favorite openings is the Queen's Gambit, and as black, one of your favorite openings is the Spanish. And also, by the way, that's just on a side note. If you see the score sheet with the percentage, it shows that you won the majority of the games with those two openings. Are these two of your favorite openings, or are you playing them only because you know those openings are strong?
So with white, I play d4, and I think I get a lot of Catalans there.
Yes. Also.
And
Okay. Okay. Yes.
uh, the Catalan, yeah, that just really is one of those pillars in my repertoire. I started already playing the Catalan when I was a teenager, so I think I know the opening quite well,
Hmm.
and just having so much experience there, of course, is very helpful. But also, I just believe that it's a very good opening, and that, of course, also helps. Yeah, with e4, e5, the open Spanish is what I played most of the times, and I think these pawn structures are very atypical, and it's also very difficult opening to play for both sides probably, and
Hmm.
also here uh, counts experience, and yeah, that's why I believe that I have such good results with the open Spanish.
Nice. Talking about the open Spanish, and now we're coming, of course, to the latest or the last Fritztrainer you have brought out. It is about the open Spanish. I can just guess this obviously was an inspiration because you knew this opening since decades and knew it by heart and liked to play it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
It's easy as that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Now, besides having the open Spanish, you're working on a new Fritz trainer. What is that about?
Well, first of all, I am doing a Fritztrainer on the Slav, my repertoire for black, which also has been on my repertoire
Hmm.
since probably 1994 or
My
something
goodness.
like that. And also, I'm doing a Fritztrainer on some special new way to combat the King's Indian and the Grünfeld, which is d4, knight f6, c4, g6, and then on move 3, the move h4, which is yeah, which
H4.
I think is just fantastic. Yeah.
I just read a Twitter message yesterday that it seems in the computer chess the programs are almost flexing who is playing h4 first because it happens so often. H4 is
Yeah.
like it's the thing at the moment. So nice you're taking off with that one too. Looking forward to looking at those. Um Working with ChessBase, you've probably known ChessBase also since the late 90s or 2000s. What is your favorite feature of the program?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right?
I never gave that any thought. I like them all. Nowadays, I really like the online database.
Hmm.
And of course, merging all the games into one file. It's also something I really appreciate. And yeah, I think there's not a bad future in ChessBase at all. So
Nice one.
yeah.
One last question, and you can also leach out with this. What else do you do besides having chess in your life? Do you have any hobbies, activities, sports, jobs, whatever? Go for it.
All right.
If you want to.
I do many sports.
Ha!
Let's first start with the weirdest one, which is arm wrestling.
Are you
Uh,
kidding me?
yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, I actually train for that 2 or 3 times a week. So I definitely take that seriously. Um, and I also hope to uh, still reach a certain level with that. Of course, not like Grandmaster level, but still a level that I will be competitive in the Netherlands.
Wow.
Um
That came
Also,
out
what
of
I
nowhere.
do.
I'm like, I'm absolutely blown away. I'm sorry, but can I ask you to show you which is your arm, the right arm? You're only this only focusing on one arm, I assume.
No, I'm training both
Both
arms.
arms. Okay.
I actually I'm a lefty, but since most of my training partners are right-handed, yeah, of course I also do
Gotcha.
with the right arm. Also, if one arm gets injured, it's good to have one arm left
In
with
reserve.
which you can still have fun. So arm wrestling is a something I really enjoy doing,
Wow.
and actually it's a lot more sophisticated than people think. So
Obviously,
probably
yes.
should look up some YouTube videos to see what it's really all about. Um then other sports I'm doing is I'm running a lot,
Hmm.
like 3 or 4 times a week, and I
Wow.
really like my mountain bike.
Nice. Yes. And the Netherlands are absolutely made for using a bicycle.
Yeah, and also they have this really nice mountain bike routes all over the
Yeah.
Netherlands, in which you can really show off your skills. And my skills are not so good, but maybe one day I will be a bit better and faster at it. But I really like cycling. Yes.
They also have this indoor cycling, mountain bike cycling thing where you have the monitor. What is it called? It's not Sift or Swift or something like this, where you can put the bicycle in to a stand and then you can compete online against the people.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Maybe you should give it a
I,
try.
I thought like because this is what the people normally use in the winter time when it is too cold that they
Yeah.
say like this is the indoor. Now I have to go back to the arm wrestling because I'm so fascinated about this. Do you have to? I'm sorry, yeah, but it's just like it is interesting after all. Uh, so when you're training, do you have significantly like large arms, or is it more a technique thing?
Not necessarily big arms, I would say. Probably it helps to have a good, strong
Nice.
biceps and
Uh-huh.
triceps, of course. But I realized that probably it's most important to have a very strong hand. So I'm doing actually exercises to strengthen my hand
Uh-huh.
and also my fingers and my wrist. Those are very important aspects of arm wrestling.
Hmm.
Also, just to have a very strong back is important. So
Okay.
um, yeah, it's actually pretty. You need your whole body actually to be good at arm wrestling.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
can imagine. I'll definitely look into this a bit more because now I'm really curious about this. Sipke, I think we are at the end of the questioning about Meet the Fritz Trainer. Now you know your Fritz Trainer a little bit more once you purchase the Open Spanish or the new Fritz Trainers, which are coming up very soon. If they're not even out already, I don't know when we're launching this interview. But now, as a little special end treat, you will show us one of your favorite games played. So, what we will do is we just share the screen and then we can take a look at it together. Okay, here we go. Yes, so this is the game,
Yeah.
and it's against Mr. Luke Mcshane.
Yeah, I played this game against Luke Mcshane, who is of course a very strong grandmaster.
Definitely.
But yeah, in this game he ended up in time trouble, and then he took some wrong decisions. So the opening was started as a kind of a well, what's it called? Yeah, well, I attempted to play a Slav, and here e3 was played, and now I developed my bishop to g4 because I really like to develop the bishop and then to play the move e6. It's just very solid.
That looks hard. That's one of those setups which you just can play against so many openings. By the way, we're a bit spontaneous with this because you haven't looked at this game for a while, so we're but you definitely know it's one of your favorite ones. So just for the viewers to know.
Yeah, definitely is indeed. Yeah, it was also the first time, and yeah, one of the very few occasions that I managed to beat a player that was rated over 2700.
Nice.
So that's also why it's an important game to me.
Yes.
Queen b3 is something I had a look at also at that time. I played queen c7 here, and after cd5, cd5. Now white has no time to take on d5, of course, because then black just takes the bishop.
That would be nice, yes.
White plays knight c3, and yeah, this is the right moment to take on f3, and after g take f3, e6. Now d4 was played, knight c6, and I just believe that despite white having the bishop pair, my position is just very solid, and it looks a bit like an exchange Slav, except that this bishop on d2 is inside the pawn chain, so it doesn't look like a very threatening setup to me. And of course, white has some ideas like going bishop b5 and knight a4, and then putting pressure on my queen side.
Yes.
But
and then there's the open G file, so you have to think twice if you're really going to castle short, I assume, or were you not scared about this?
Well, I believe that all white's forces are at the moment concentrated on the queen side, so I should be able to get away with castling to the king side.
Okay, yeah, good point.
Also, I didn't make any weakening moves on the king side, so I should be fine after a move like rook g1. I will just happily castle and see what is coming.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, but I believe that yeah, white also because of the move rook c1, maybe actually this is not a very good idea, because later on, yeah, white will have problems finding a secure spot for the king.
Exactly, the opposite applies. Yeah, you cannot castle anymore, and white will probably not want to castle kingside either. So yeah, you're blocking this a little.
Could be played, but I think if white could play, if white could castle to the queen side here, and then to move the king over to b1 and then rook c1, this is also very typical. I think then white's king is quite safe.
Yeah, it takes a bit longer, but the white king is safe. Yeah, and
yes,
white wanted to apply a bit more pressure probably with the immediate move, which is might be a bit too hasty.
Yeah. So bishop b7, now knight a4, I castled, and bishop b5. And here I played move rook fc8, which I think is quite harmonious, because I think that black is going to take on c6 at some point, and then it's good to have this rook on a8 to move it over to b8.
True.
Maybe white should castle to the king side here. Yeah, my opponent decided to keep the king in the center, but
that is, yeah,
it's of course understandable that white wants to connect the rooks, but I think I was rather surprised with this move, king e2.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I maybe castle, white can castle.
Yeah, and go to h1 with the king maybe in the worst case, yeah.
And here probably I should consider to play e5. Yeah, I'm opening the position, and yeah, I will definitely have counterplay here. Yeah, so now and also move like f4. This is stopping e5 break, but it allows knight coming to e4.
Exactly, what a beautiful spot.
Hitting the bishop, but also even could be some issues with the f2 pawn. White has a move. There's a move like bishop h4 also. Yeah, so not too sure if king e2 is right. I played this rook ab8, which is a bit of a mysterious rook move, but of course I'm anticipating bishop takes c6.
Yeah, this is stopping it a little almost, right? That white wants to take the bishop because it's this move like going into this direction already, so you more or less would win a little bit of a tempo almost with rook a to b8. Nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the best. I probably should have played e5 straight away. I thought
that gives initiative.
That's what the engine pointed out, at least. But okay, rook ab8 is it's not a bad move. My opponent played queen d3, and I guess f4. I think that Mcshane still didn't want to allow knight e4. I understand a bit better now, because bishop e1 is not at all possible, because the rook on c1 is undefended, and black has this discovered check with knight takes d4.
Yeah, right.
So queen d3 was my opponent's choice, and here I play the move e5.
Now we're talking, yeah. So this move means business, okay.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Bishop takes c6, bc6, and now d takes e5, queen e5. And actually black is already better here.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That looks good.
Looks good, yeah. Okay, later on I'm going to spoil my advantage a little bit, but by that time my opponent was already in quite a bit of time trouble. I think we actually played without increment this game.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, let's see. Bishop c3 was played. I went queen h5, and yeah, there's also all kinds of knight e4 ideas now. So I can understand that my opponent didn't want to have any part of that, and just exchanged off his bishop for my knight. But yeah, I think actually that my bishop is also not so bad.
Definitely not. No, long line.
Yeah, it's a long line, but it's also doing a good job of supporting a move like d4 at some point.
Exactly. This is what I saw immediately. Rook can go to e8, d4. That gives some nice pressure. Yeah.
Also,
black
this
is too
queen is really well placed, because of course it puts pressure here, but also the pawn on h2 it needs to be defended by the rook. And yeah,
multiple purposes.
Yeah, I found a very good plan here for black, and that's to pile up on the e3 point. So that's why I played here rook c7, queen a6, and now rook e8. And yeah, okay, this plan was probably, it was not the best that black could do. Yeah, objectively speaking, I'm throwing away a large part of my advantage. But on the other hand, white's defense is not very easy to see.
Exactly, yes.
So let's
and this pawn on c6 was always a little bit of a weakness, so it will probably just fall.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't think it's that I don't have to give it that fast. I thought that after queen a6, or maybe already here, that the move d4 was very strong.
D4.
And after
Okay.
e4, then to move the rooks to the e file, or even here d4, and then if white decides on e4, now here I can play the move rook e8, and actually I am having a good threat.
Nice check on e4. Yeah.
So I saw that objectively that was best that I could do, but I actually saw white's 20-second move coming, and since my opponent was already low on time, I calculated the following. So rook takes f6 was not a surprise for me. I understand that after g take f6, that here, let's say white gives this check, I go king f8, and then king take f6. That
looks bad for black.
Looks bad for black indeed. Yeah, actually.
How to even counter this? Yeah, well, yeah, there are, but yeah, it looks bad. E6, rook e6 is the only thing I can think of at the moment.
But thankfully, in chess, we are not forced to recapture. And this is the move that I calculated.
Oh, that is really
very tricky.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, I don't need this bishop to have a strong attack going on. Rook f4 was correct.
Wow.
And after d take e3, here white has actually only two moves that don't lose. Oof. And well, I didn't see those moves during the game, and my opponent, who was probably on 5 minutes or something here, also didn't see the defense, because I believe that h4 is
that's so hard
is
to
holding.
See.
Yeah, the engine shows only zeros here after this move.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's one of those so-called computer moves, I would say, because that's really hard to spot.
It makes sense once you see how the game continues.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other move that saves is the move h3. So
it's all to block the queen going to h3, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's because my opponent played queen d3, but this is losing by force. But also, actually, I really like the geometry of the line that's coming after king takes f2.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the move my opponent likely missed is rook e1.
Oh, that I didn't see either.
Yeah, that's a nice way to distract this rook on h1, because if
main threat, wow,
white takes, then I will take on h2, and I will pick up this rook with a check, and then my rook will join, and those guys should be able to mate this king.
Suffer.
Yeah, it should end in mate. So instead, this is the move that that white played, rook e4. But this all works really nice for white. So what white is for black, what white is hoping for is that after rook 8 take e4, f takes e4, that I don't have time to take this rook on h1, because there's this back rank mate.
Mm-hmm.
However, after queen h4 check, well, queen g3, then I just exchange
then
the
you could
queens,
take, yeah.
And next I take the rook on h1.
Should be enough.
That should win. Yeah, it should be without any difficulties winning. So king g2, and now I give this check on g5. And the good thing is that I now defend d8. So if white moves the king.
Oh, I was thinking like, okay, now I get it. That's cool.
If white, if white takes this, if white moves the king, then I just take the rook on h1.
Perfect.
So queen g3 is forced. But now I have a check on d2. And if queen f2, I have a choice. I can play either rook e2, but I would probably take the queen and then take the rook. This is the most convincing way to play. King h3 was the move played by my opponent, and now again I don't have time to take an h1 because of
Yeah.
queen b8, and I'm the one who's getting mated. Rook e3 is probably winning. Yeah, it's winning the queen.
That's what I
But
thought. So yeah.
maybe I actually have to show some technique. Yeah, it's probably just very easy to win this, but this move is way stronger. Queen d7 check.
Mm-hmm.
Then now after queen g4, then I'll just actually I might actually play the move rook e3 check. Of course, this is winning as well.
We have the same. Yeah.
I think that rook e3 might actually end in mate because
King
after
h4.
king h4, there's queen e7, and this king is going to a not so happy place. So yeah, king g2 is understandable, but now there's rook e2 check, and now the king cannot go to the back rank because that would run into queen d1 mate. And after king f3, I give a check on d3, king g4, and now queen takes e4. Actually, I'm just mating the king now. King h3, there's queen f5.
Oh.
That will also lose. Yeah, probably ends in mate after a couple of checks. And king h5, I played queen f5, and here my opponent resigned.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That must have been in which tournament was this? Do you remember?
It was a tournament that was played in Volvaga. It was a round robin tournament with 6 players.
Oh, okay.
It's not held anymore. I think the last edition was in 2014.
So.
And they held this tournament every 2 years.
Oh.
And I think I think they started in 2006, and usually it was just a very strong round robin tournament. I think this edition had, even with my elo of 2552 included, still the average was over 2650. So yeah, but unfortunately it's not there anymore.
Oh, pity. Okay. Yeah, but very, very nice, very instructive game. Right from the opening away, you were playing so solid. Positional. Is positional playing or positional games a thing you would you like the most in chess, or is it a bit deeper?
A bit deeper.
Yeah.
No, I believe that maybe I'm wrong, but I just try to be principled.
Yes.
And sometimes that means that you choose a positional approach, and sometimes then that means that you choose for a sharp tactical approach. And of course, sometimes I'm judging things completely wrong, so then I'm going for some very sharp line, but that was completely not called for. So yeah, sometimes strange things happen in my games, but I see myself as trying to play in a principled way.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sipke. You can unshare the screen again.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are actually at the end of Meet the Fritztrainer. This was GM Sipke Ernst, not only a wonderful chess player and a chess coach who has made a bunch of Fritztrainers meanwhile, but also a very strong arm wrestler. That's what we learned.
That remains to be seen, but okay, I'm going to try.
Can I ask you one last question for this, because I cannot stop with that. I know there was one movie in the 80s, I think, with Sylvester Stallone, where he's just
over the top.
Over the top, exactly. He pulls back. So this must have had a little bit of a hype for a lot of people. What made you start arm wrestling?
Yeah, I think I just watched some videos on YouTube at a certain point
Yeah.
for no reason at all, and I got hooked. I was already into strength training at that
Hmm.
moment, but yeah, just really got attracted to this world a couple of years back when I noticed someone training in the gym also, um, and I realized he's training for arm wrestling, and yeah, I then uh, contacted him, and then we started to work training a bit. Yeah.
Nice, excellent. Thank you so much, Sipke. Thank you, everybody, for joining this show. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the analysis. The game, of course, is below the article. And if you appreciate what Sipke is doing for the chess world, if you are a fan already, you know what to do. The Fritztrainers are also in our ChessBase shop. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Bye bye.
Bye.